Making stuff is hard,
especially in the entertainment world,
where big egos, bigger budgets,
and just plain bad luck
can make things go horribly wrong.
And we're going behind the scenes of these disastrous,
never-ending,
and often dangerous productions
to find out why
it was a shit show. Hello, fellow familiars, daywalkers, and night stalkers.
Ooh. Oh, Night Stalkers, no.
No. You're okay with being
I'll be a daywalker.
familiar?
Oh, no, I don't really want to be a familiar
I'll be a
either.
daywalker. Yeah.
We're all daywalkers here.
I mean, familiars,
I don't
they get such a bad time.
I would be a witch's familiar, but not a vampire's
Yeah, not a
familiar.
vampire's
They
familiar.
feel,
I'd be
I
a
feel like
witch.
they really like treat their familiars.
They
pretty
string them
poorly.
along, for years.
Yeah. But like witch's familiar, that's a good gig.
Yeah, and you can go to bed at night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and not have to be cleaning up dead bodies.
exactly.
Well, my name is Ian. I am joined by Clint
Hello.
and Ray.
Hello.
And this is It Was a Shit Show. During our Patreon exclusive episode, The Making of It Was a Shit Show was a shit show, we discuss a very pivotal moment and about a very particular video from the previous channel that I may or may not have had something to do with. Spoilers, I didn't. But it is a topic I've had since day one, and I figured what better time
Why
to
not?
tackle it. Why not? Let's just do it now. Let's get
We're
it
5
over
years
with.
in.
5
This
years
is
in.
perfect time.
Yes. So today, let's talk Blade Trinity.
It was an incredibly fraught experience. It was personally very difficult. I was very depressed afterwards. You talked about one of the naders. It was definitely that. And this is even before the movie came out. Despite all of that, I still think Wesley is one of the greatest actors of the current generation. And it's a tragedy that he's not acting as much. He was going through a lot of trouble at the time that all that tax stuff was happening right as we started.
Got it.
And in fact, on our first day of filming, there was this whole kerfuffle because the IRS had withheld like a bunch of his money. And that was all going on in the background. And that's kind of all I'll say about it for now, but it was a mess.
Clint, you do not have a closet for us.
I had something, but I already had shown it for Patreon. And so I didn't want to like make the Patreon subscribers mad, thinking like, oh, well, he's just going to show anything that he shows on Patreon. Just anybody, just give him time. So I decided not to do that.
Okay.
That coupled with the fact that I literally looked around my entire collection. I was like, I don't have anything for Blade Trinity. Like, I don't have any Wesley Snipes
You didn't have like
stuff.
a long duster, like a long black duster. Or
Katana.
anything?
You don't have a
Not anymore.
katana.
I actually have several.
Bro,
Damn
I was
it.
gonna say, bro, you totally have a katana.
I have at least 3.
Yeah.
Damn it.
One for each Blade film.
I didn't want to be like driving around with that, being like, hey, officer, if I get pulled over, like, what's that you got there? It's
Let me show you.
Yeah. Are you wielding a weapon? Is this a weapon?
But you did say what was the reason you didn't bring something?
The real reason?
Yeah, why you had to rush out of the house.
My kid would not let me put her prescription eye drops in her eye. And so I just got super mad. I was like, all right, I'm out of here. Peace out. And like, I'm driving here. I'm like, shit, I forgot something.
Okay. Let's remember that. Because I think we can tie that.
We can tie,
it into this.
Okay.
Oh my god! Oh,
Yes.
like kids being a pain in the ass
Okay,
somehow
we'll
relates.
we'll get to that, but
Okay.
I think we could tie it.
Okay, yeah. Clint's closet. You get a Clint experience.
Yeah.
An anecdotal Clint's closet.
Okay, so Blade, created by Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan. Blade first appeared in the comic The Tomb of Dracula, number 10. So this is actually the comic you actually see in Blade Trinity. That's the same comic. It's not the exact same issue, but that is the comic that Blade appeared in.
Okay.
So it was kind of like this weird meta
Ooh, Easter egg.
But I know, but it's also like, if that exists, then Blade exists in the comics. Did he take his name? No, anyway, whatever.
Oh, no, it opens up a whole like meta can of worms. Like, wait
Yeah,
a minute.
wait a minute.
You think this is bullshit? But is that where he got his name? Because he would have appeared in that comic.
Yeah. And that was in 1973, which is the series most of these characters come from. Eric Brown, a.k.a. Blade. He's always been a black man. His mother was bitten by Deacon Frost, who was an older man pretending to be like a surgeon or something like that. But he bit her during childbirth, giving him the ability of
Vampires.
being immune to becoming a vampire.
Oh, in the comics?
Yeah.
So he wasn't like a
he's
hybrid.
not even he's not a hybrid in the comics?
Nope.
Oh.
But
Originally.
So Deacon Frost bites his mom in childbirth. He gets the ability, the power to be immune to vampires.
Yes.
That's kind of a dumb superpower.
Yeah,
It's
big
just
whoop.
like, whatever, I'm just like a guy.
Hey, you know what else? I have that. All I have to do is just not go out outside.
Yeah.
at dark.
I just have to not hang out in like weird clubs.
Yeah, where
like,
there's
in
going to be
a-
spraying
in-
blood
yeah,
from
exactly.
the sprinkler system. Yeah.
Like in old warehouses in like Brooklyn or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I don't get
the hell.
invited to that shit anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Through a meat locker.
yeah.
Look, once you hit 35, your risk of being bitten by a vampire just dips significantly.
They only want young,
significant
hot
dip.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
1,000%.
The minute your joints start to crick and crack just from getting out of bed, you're good.
The minute you're like, oh, like, I ate too much dairy today, I gotta go sit on the toilet. They're like, no.
No, we don't want
They're
you.
not for us. No, thank you.
So sorting out when Blade became the Daywalker is kind of a mess. I'm not the huge comic person, so I tried to find out where this actually came from, but it like every source was so different. Because he is part vampire in the Spider-Man animated series, which aired in '96, and the comics don't retcon him until '99, which
Okay.
is 1 year after the movie.
Okay.
And in that, like Morbius, the living vampire, accidentally bites Blade, and the string of those two makes him the Daywalker.
Interesting. Okay.
Whatever.
He accidentally just like, "Wah,"
No,
like,
he's trying to
falls on
he's
him
trying to
with
bite
his
somebody
mouth
else,
open.
and
You know,
I
the
see.
funny thing, also the other funny thing about that power of being able to be immune to a vampire, like you can still die from a
Yeah.
vampire bite. Like, it'll just
Right.
suck all the blood out of you.
Right,
yeah,
You're not
he
immune to
can
that.
still rip your head off.
Yeah.
But I love that like that's his superpower, and then he's like, oh no, Morbius, and then like that somehow he's not immune to Morbius.
Well, Morbius is different because he's the living vampire.
What does that mean?
I let's not go into it.
What does it mean?
I know.
That's
Let's
for
not go-
another video.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll talk about that when we talk about the Morbius movie. Not today.
Okay.
Okay, so in the comics, he had he just wielded like knives.
Okay.
So the movie provides his iconic look and the katana. So that is something that the character would keep going forward. But that was created for the movie.
And then the comic book writers were like, fuck, that's badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah.
He's got that
that in-
spinny glade thing that like spins around and kills all the vampires.
Fuck, why didn't we
Oh,
think of that,
shit.
Marv? God
Oh.
damn it.
We were cool when we were writing the Tomb of Dracula.
In that, he's just wearing.
Marv.
Yeah, his name was Marv Wolfman.
Yeah,
I was listening.
someone was paying attention.
Yeah, I was
was
just talking about
listening.
how I forgot a katana.
So David Goyer, who wrote all three Blade films, he created Abraham Whistler for the film. Make a play on who?
Abraham Van Helsing.
Yes.
Oh.
But Marvel liked that idea of that character and put it in the Spider-Man animated series.
Gotcha. So-
Same episode.
So he was Harley Quinn, huh?
Kinda, yeah. Which aired 2 years before the film came out. So that's what I'm saying. Like the mess of like what was happening at Marvel at the time,
Oh,
and
I
who
see.
came up with the idea of him being a
Interesting.
Daywalker, and while they were developing the film, all of that. I'm not sure
Like, it was
because
like
David
the
Goyer,
comics informed the film, and then the film informed future comics, and then like
yeah,
so it was just
whatever,
all
in the
kind of-
TV
Yeah.
show, and Goyer has said he's like, yeah, I created Abraham. I gave him the duster, the katana, stuff like that. But he didn't say he created the Daywalker thing.
Interesting.
So I don't know. Someone I'm sure would.
I wonder if there was like
Look
in,
into
in
it.
the many years it was probably in pre-production and in development. They were probably meeting with Goyer, and he's like, "Well, I have these ideas. Like, that's good. Let's put it in the comic. That's good. Let's put it in the TV show."
Yeah,
and
just,
then
like,
yeah,
just take it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so the movie, an attempt at the film, which is we should state at this point that when Blade was made, it was kind of a shock to a lot of people because it was kind of a really obscure character.
yeah.
Like he was really kind of
Right.
third string kind of C-level tier. He wasn't that popular.
Well, he didn't have a title of his own, right? If he was just in Tomb
yeah,
of Dracula.
exactly.
Yeah.
And when the one where he gets bit and turns into the Daywalker, that's a Spider-Man comic. So like it's just kind of a really random one for them to pull out.
Yeah.
And
It's like if the DC was like, hey, the popularity of the Joker movie? I got another one for you. Let's do the Condiment King movie.
yeah, exactly. like what?
What?
Yeah. So at the time people were like, okay. Anyway.
Because a lot of people probably didn't realize at the time that it was a comic book movie, right?
Yeah. We'll go into all that.
We'll go into that.
Okay.
We'll get
So
We're so good at this
the first known version that we can pull up is from 1992 with LL Cool J.
Ladies love Cool James.
Yeah, so he wanted.
Is that
he
what
wanted
that
it.
stands for?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You didn't know that?
No.
And Ray, Sean Connery is dead.
Oh my God.
Yeah, ladies
guys.
love Cool James. LL Cool J.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Checks out.
Yep. That maths.
Yep.
So this is at the time when Marvel is going through their bankruptcy, and they're just selling their film rights to
Right.
any studio that's interested. The same article that talks about LL Cool J, the same article mentions James Cameron doing Spider-Man,
Okay.
Elektra by Oliver Stone,
Interesting.
Doctor Strange by Wes Craven,
Okay.
That rad.
really good,
I'm in for that.
and Black Panther to be played by Wesley Snipes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So Blade lands at New Line Cinema, and David Goyer pitches a trilogy of Blade films where he could talk about race relations through vampires. Whether or not that comes through very well in the movie, there's kind of like the pure bloods versus the the turned versions.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clint, you are going to be our David Goyer
Yep.
today, and this is what New Line studio head told him.
Mike DeLuca said, I'll make it for $40 million if you can get Denzel Washington, 35 if you can get Wesley Snipes, and 20 if you can get Lawrence Fishburne. And that was it. We wanted Wesley.
So Wesley was a huge action star at this point, right?
okay.
And so he was a big get, and they're like, no other actors were considered. They were like, oh, Wesley's on the board, let's do him, because he's already doing action films, right?
Right.
So Snipes' Black Panther film stalled. It was just way too advanced. Like it was going to be way too expensive to make, and so. But he did think this was a suitable replacement. While this movie was in development, David Fincher was finishing Seven for New Line and read the Blade script. Like, I don't know, someone handed it to him, and he's like, oh, what's this? And he read it and really likes it. But he has some ideas.
Oh no.
Oh, boy.
So producer Peter Frankfurt was like, whoa. He's like, listen, buddy, like, you're a friend. You're a great director. But you're never going to make this movie. Like, this is not going to happen. And Fincher's like, regardless, let's set up a meeting. This is, Ray, you're going to be Frankfurt. This is him about the
Frankfurt.
meeting with New Line and David Fincher.
We were going into a meeting with Mike DeLuca, and Fincher couldn't help himself. He started talking about the first act and what he wanted to do, and I could see everybody just completely mesmerized, and I knew right then we were going to waste a year, which was basically exactly what happened.
That's hilarious.
None of this is real. He's full of shit. I relate to this guy so hard. Just like, people just running their mouths, but what about this idea? What about this idea? And you're just like, no, this has to be real. Is any of that real? No, none of it's real.
None of this going to happen.
Fincher! He finched it. God damn it.
He's a Fincher.
I like the idea that he was mesmerizing them. Like, he was a vampire.
Well, now I wanted to know what his ideas were.
Yeah.
I don't know. No idea. He was on the project for like a year,
Yeah.
but leaves, and he helped with some of the script. Then Frankfurt hires Stephen Norrington after seeing his film Death Machine, kind of a crazy action movie that was made like on a shoestring budget. We do discuss this in the LXG.
Oh, okay. I was like, that name sounds really familiar.
Yeah. So the usual issues of making the movie come up. Not really big things, but some of the more interesting stuff. They had trouble with extras quitting during the blood rave scene.
Oh, I would have killed to be in that scene.
They're just like, oh, it's in my mouth. Ugh.
Because it was like a handful of them actually sued because they were getting rashes. It's like,
Oh, big deal. Big deal. So you got a little bit of fake blood in your eye. And you got a rash. You got to be in a movie.
One of the coolest scenes, like in that time.
ever. Yeah, right.
I love that song too. Dude, that's such a cool song. Like they all put their hand. Let's just talk about it for a second. They all put their hands up in the air. That one dude's like, "What's going on?" The blood starts coming down. They're all running. He starts freaking out, and then they just fucking eat the guy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so
No,
fucking
they don't.
cool. Oh, does he get away? Oh, that's right. Because then Blade comes.
Because he
just-
started
Yeah,
crawling
yeah.
away and then he runs into Blade.
Yeah.
Who never gets an ounce of blood on him.
Oh no, yeah, because he's a fucking daywalker, bro.
he's
The
wearing-
effects of the vampire is it doesn't happen to him, so he gets the blood repelled off of him. That's his other superpower.
Also, that duster is rain
dust.
repellent.
Scotch
so
guard.
yeah, it's got Scotch guard on it.
Yeah.
Scotch guard for blood.
But yeah, that scene they're using like corn syrup, and some of the extras were just not prepared for how much would be coming out of those sprinklers,
Yeah.
and it was hot as shit down there, and it was smelly, and it would just stick to the floor, and they were just like. It was like 2 or 3 days, and they were like, it was incredible. Just disgusting.
It sucked.
Smelled terrible.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
but
awesome.
there's a handful of extras that were kind of like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't give a
Look at
shit. Like,
this.
put me up close. Like, I'll be up front. I'll dance straight to the camera. Versus other people who were just like, fuck this.
And those people were all over 35. The rest, everyone else was fine with it.
Yep.
That's what we're saying. I know we were joking earlier, but being an extra really sucks.
Oh, yeah,
it's
for sure.
It is like the most thankless, like shitty job. Like no one cares about you. And so I could see that like just being in like a dark basement covered in like sticky gross stuff and everyone just being like, all right, like you're on your, because like they don't give a shit about you if you're not like a main actor.
Yeah.
Like
Cut.
it's-
And then like they call cut,
Yeah.
and there's like, well, what do I do
you're
now?
like,
I'm covered in sticky goo.
yeah.
what do we want to?
we-
we
Yeah,
don't
they're like, that's
have an
not our-
exit plan here.
Yeah, no, just go home.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting on the bus.
Just like
so sticky.
just sitting in the back of the bus, like covered in just blood, like, hi, hey. It was for a movie. It's for,
I'm
don't
Someone
okay.
just hands him sketch card.
Yeah.
for next time.
Yep.
Oh, you doing the Blade movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then another thing was Donald Logue, after he plays the henchman who Blade like sets on fire during that scene. And then he's the one that wakes up when they're about to do the autopsy on him, and he wakes up.
Oh, right.
So
Oh my God.
after waking up as a burn victim, he slipped on the tile and he landed on his jaw, dislocating his jaw.
Oh my God.
And so they had to take him to a real hospital because they were in a fake one. And they
Yeah.
had to go to a real hospital, and he's in full charred body makeup.
That's
Which
God.
reminds me a
hilarious.
lot of like the Planet of the Apes.
That's right.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
it's like they're like, don't no, it's all makeup. He's fine. Just fix his jaw.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
They're like, we got a burn victim here. We got to take him to the ICU. And they're like, no.
No, it's just my jaw. Okay. So Stephen Dorff, he frequently talks about how he felt like that he sold out by being in this Hollywood movie. He doesn't do Hollywood movies, and on set he's just like, I don't really understand my character, and he's just grappling with
Steven, you're a vampire.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
But
this
Steven, you're a vampire.
and this runs up against Snipes, the actor, and Snipes, the producer, and he's like,
Oh.
get over it. Just get in the scene.
You're a vampire, motherfucker.
Yeah.
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 You're not doing Shakespeare's soliloquies right here. You're a vampire.
Yeah.
You suck blood.
Yeah. There's not much there. But going forward, their relationship was described as antagonistic.
Well, that played well on screen then.
Well, as Dorff says, the most tense situations on a movie tend to make the best movies.
I mean, everyone's miserable, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I know.
That's why that blood scene was the blood like nightclub scene was so cool.
everybody's so miserable.
Everyone's just like, and they're like, dance, keep dancing. And they're like,
I read studies about how bad corn syrup is.
I have a corn allergy.
Wait, we need some people in front. Okay.
They're like, all right, anybody who's under the age of 35, get up here. Everyone else is like, can I go home yet? I'm tired.
Just get in the back and just put your hands up so we have more bodies. All right.
My upper body strength. I've never held my arms out this long. Okay, I'm sorry. We've gone off the rails. You're like going like this. Oh, God.
Do you have a question?
Just like, oh.
No.
No, okay, that was getting tired.
Okay, all right.
What were we talking about?
I
What's going
don't
on?
even know. Okay, the original ending had Blade fighting Lamagra as a giant blood tornado. And this bombed with test audiences, and the sword fight was added in reshoots.
Yeah, no, Blood Tornado.
Yeah, you can watch it online. It's very stupid, but and it's also like the visual effects were like, I don't think this is there yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so Snipes' ice skating line
Yes.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
was something he said offhandedly during a meeting, and David Goyer was like, "Love it," putting it at the end.
He was like, ooh.
Which is the dumbest fucking line. It's delivered with such fucking gravitas, but it's so fucking stupid because it has nothing. It's like just the most nonsensical thing.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Like it's impossible, but they're just gonna keep trying. Like
They're just going to keep trying to go up and then just falling back down. Like it's like a Sisyphean feat.
okay, yeah.
You know? It's deep. I don't know what you guys have, what your problem is with that line. It's brilliant.
I don't have a problem with
No, I
it.
know.
In the movie, it is good. In Deadpool and Wolverine, fucking stupid. I think it's like it doesn't work at all.
It's just
in
for that
moment.
fan service.
Yeah,
for people.
and
And he said the line.
He said the line. Yeah, it's so dumb.
I really did Wesley Snipes ever explain what he meant by that though when he said it offhand in a meeting?
No, because they were just talking about something, and then he just said that. Like, I'm sure if someone was just like, I don't know, he keeps trying. Well, some motherfuckers who keep trying to ice skate uphill.
Wesley, get in touch with us. Let us know what that line means.
Yeah.
Blade released August 21st, 1998 on a budget of $45 million. It made $70 million in the United States, $131 million worldwide. So it's a decent hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As much as people think that this was the big movie that kickstarted all of Marvel, it really wasn't, because it's a rated R vampire movie where Marvel logo is not even in the front of it.
Right. We were talking about that watching it. You're like, this has zero Marvel branding, and there are not any recognizable Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're a big fan of the comics and comic books, like, you wouldn't even be like, oh, Blade, that's a Marvel guy. Like, you're just like, oh, this is
I'm
just a
sure
vampire.
so many people saw this movie and had no idea.
Yeah, and there are probably even Marvel fans who are just like, oh, there's the movie coming out about Blade. And they see it and they're like, that's not the Blade I know. This one's got powers.
Yeah. Wait, the Daywalker? What does that
What's a
mean?
Daywalker?
He didn't have a katana.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, it was a decent hit. And then Rotten Tomatoes, 58% with critics, 78% with audiences. I think that's pretty low for critics.
I mean, that seems right. It feels like a more of a popcorn movie, and I feel like critics tend to just be like, Stephen Dorff wasn't doing a Shakespeare soliloquy, so therefore 58%.
He clearly didn't know what his character was about.
He didn't really embody what a vampire is all about, you know?
Yes.
Yes.
But that line about
Well,
ice skating.
Quite.
I related to it.
Yeah, perfect.
One time, as a boy, I tried to ice skate uphill, and I understood exactly what he was referring to.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Last thing I will say, Marvel made exactly $25,000 from the success of this movie.
Oh my God, like just that was their licensing fee or
Yes,
something?
it was that bad.
Oh my God, they're just like, please
buy our stuff.
We'll
Take it from
anything.
us.
I can't believe it was that low.
We just got to keep the lights on in the building.
Ray, you will be our Wesley Snipes today.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
And this is Wesley Snipes about the success and the legacy of Blade.
when you think about it, how many people have won an Oscar versus how many have a movie that people from generation after generation after generation dig, remember, and appreciate? I wouldn't take the Oscar. I mean, if I could take the Oscar for a vampire karate guy, though, that's cool.
Thoughts on Blade?
I love it. I mean, maybe it's just because when I saw it, it came out in 96.
98.
98. Well, how old was I? 13. Like this is
like
perfect 13-year-old Clint movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the villains. I loved Donald Logue. I thought he was funny. I love that whole fucking. I'm never gonna forget that scene. The whole nightclub scene. Like that just lives in my brain rent free.
Yeah.
Probably a month doesn't go by. I was like, man, that was cool.
That was a cool scene.
And that song from it, like the club song, is fucking awesome. I need to listen to that on my way home. I like Blade a lot. I think my kid will enjoy it. He wanted to watch Blade Trinity with me. I was like, well, yeah, sure, but we got to watch the first two. And then we totally forgot about it. I was like, well, I'm just going to watch it by myself. So, yeah, he'll watch it and we'll have a good time. I like Blade.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it. Yeah, it's fine. Like I wouldn't say it's my, a favorite movie of mine or anything like that. And then when we were watching it, I was like, yeah, I've never seen this. And you were like, we have absolutely seen this. And I'm like, I will, no, I don't remember anything about it. So, but yeah, like it's fun. Like it's a fun movie.
Yeah, I think it's actually really good. I think that I think the last half gets a little bogged down after Whistler dies. Then he gets caught, and then he gets turned, like he's put into that machine. And it just like takes a while. Like Blade is not very active for a long portion of it, and it really slows down. But like that first half, I think is actually really good, and it's really great for how small of the movie it is, how good it is at world building.
Yeah.
And how it's just like, this society is just oppressive. Like, in the sense that or hopeless would be the right word, because it's just vampires are everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't control this. And
They
you're
own the police.
Yeah.
They own, there's no, you're fucked. Like if you get on their bad side.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like John Wick if they were vampires.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like it's a really good, it's just like a different version of the world. And I think it establishes that so well. Yeah. And Snipes is just fucking weird. And it's just like when he like gets him with the stakes and he's all,
Yeah.
Or how about when he catches that baby? Gucci goo. Fucking weird.
Okay, Blade 2. As mentioned in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Norrington felt overwhelmed by the size of Blade and didn't want to do that again. And so he turned down directing Blade 2. Then comes Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo.
Who Jenny Ray did not know he directed it until the end of the movie.
And I was pleasantly surprised.
She goes, oh, that's why it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blade 2 is really good. I like
It
Blade
is very
2.
good. Yeah.
All things considered, Blade 2 went swimmingly. Nothing.
That's the Del Toro effect.
That's fucking Del Toro.
Well,
That
he has a
message.
lot. His movie. He has so many projects, irons in the fire, and they never work out. So maybe it's just one that did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. I honestly
Well, the ones that do go great.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the Del Toro promise.
I promise you that when they go great, they do.
I promise you that when I make a movie,
25% of the time, it works. 100% of the time.
That's the Del Toro effect.
that's the Del Toro promise.
Blade 2 released March 22nd, 2002 on a budget of $54 million, so slightly more expensive. It made $82 million in the US, $155 million worldwide, so it did better. Rotten Tomatoes, 57% with critics.
No, it's better than Blade 1.
68% with
Really?
audiences.
That's
No, it's better than
interesting.
Blade 1.
Well, you know what it was missing was a nightclub blood scene,
I guess so. Yeah.
or the equivalent of.
It's true. Just like a lot of people covered in blood.
Yeah, Blade 2 is really good. I think it loses a little bit of that the kind of the thing that I liked about the first one, about the world building, because it's just all inside vampire the world. Like the stuff with Whistler is pretty good, and the poor use of Donnie Yen.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though he was the fight choreographer.
I was
for
gonna,
it.
yeah. The fights are fucking
I
awesome.
fucking love Donnie Yen. I want to be his friend.
He's great.
Donnie Yen, be my friend.
But Del Toro also, he was like, I wanted to make it a comic book anime, And then it was like, oh, that explains a lot of the fighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anything other thoughts on Blade 2?
I need to watch it again.
Did you not watch it?
Not Blade 2. It's been a while since I've seen Blade 2.
I don't think I have any other thoughts other than
You thought it was really gross.
what part was gross?
All the mouths.
The mandibles.
The mandibles.
Yeah.
That was super gross. That was very, very cool. That's
Yeah.
that's very, again, like when I saw that Guillermo del Toro had directed it at the end, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
That tracks.
There's like creepy ass like monster, cool practical effects in there, grossness. I will say, and I know we haven't talked about Blade 3 yet, but like this movie did the whole thing where it's just like, we're putting together a team, right? And then you just had like a team of like vampire weirdos that were like together. That was just so much better than like, they tried to do the exact same thing in 3, but like, we're putting together a team. And it's like, this team fucking sucks. The team from the last one had Ron Perlman and Donnie Yen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it was just
dude named Hammer.
Hammer.
Who carried a hammer.
Hammer. Yeah. Like, it was just like,
There's no subtlety.
it was very anime in the sense that it was just like, it's a group of fucking weirdos that are like fighting vampires. And you're like, I'm here for this. Yes,
It's like, let's go to battle. I'm going to put on my mesh t-shirt.
Yeah. Like that's what you want from a Blade movie.
Right.
You know? Anyway, so that was good.
I did forget to add this because we do talk about it in LXG, but there was a deleted alternate ending to the original Blade where they see someone on a building in the background, and it's supposed to be setting up Morbius for the sequel, and Stephen Norrington was the stand-in for it. But they wanted to make Morbius as its own movie, and so that's why Morbius is not in Blade 2.
Gotcha.
And we all know how Morbius worked out.
I mean, I don't, because I haven't listened to a podcast about it yet or been on a podcast about it yet.
Get on with it, me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I haven't.
Really?
I, still
I haven't seen
Morbius.
it either, but
My
I just
kid-
keep
my-
hearing about it.
My oldest son is like, Dad, it's so bad. Like,
Yeah,
like,
it became
don't-
a whole thing for kids.
Yeah,
It's like a meme.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Morbin time.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, don't
Exactly.
watch it.
That's morbid.
So bad. Blade Trinity. Here we go.
God damn it.
David Goyer was hired to write and direct it in
Okay.
August of 2001, even though Blade 2 wouldn't come out until March 2002. So they were like, this movie's already looking great. We're sure it's going to be a hit. David Goyer, you're going to write and direct the next one. Clint, you're David Goyer again. This is him about finally taking the director's chair.
After Blade 3, I'm done writing for other directors. I've had enough frustration over 10 years that I've realized I can do it myself.
No, David.
Last word.
No, David, you can't do it.
Oh, Dave, no.
Okay.
No,
Did
David.
he write the Blood Club scene? He had to have, right?
Yeah, he wrote.
He wrote all three
all
of
these
them.
Blade movies.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Just do that again.
like just stay in your lane, bro.
More of that. What
keep-
if
just keep
what if it's a blood water park?
Yeah.
He's like, I
Little
wanted to. I
vampire
wanted
kids
to
going
write
down
a,
blood water slides.
Yeah.
Blood lazy rivers.
Yeah, he's just like, I just like wanted to make a more family friendly Blade at the water park.
One for all the kids.
For the over 35 crowd.
Yeah, who've got little vampires of their own. Bring them to the vampire water park.
I just realized, how do they? So the whole thing with the pure bloods, how are they pure blood?
They
Yeah.
were born vampires. They were not made.
Yeah, okay, so you're born vampire,
Yes.
and then what?
And then you're,
You're
a,
bo-
a
you-
vampire.
I mean, generally, when you become a vampire, you stay the age that you became a vampire. So if
yeah,
you're born a
because
vampire,
there's a whole,
It's like a whole Benjamin Button kind of situation.
Yeah,
Well, they're probably not
do you eventually age?
traditionally. They're probably not traditionally born like the way that I have a lot of questions. This is actually a really.
Well,
good,
no,
this is
brain
actually a
sprinkler.
very good question because. Yeah, what? Because there's a whole thing in Diary or the Interview with the Vampire where they turn Kristen Dunst, and that's
And
like,
she's
a-
like-
and she's
yeah,
a kid. She's
yeah,
like
and
a
she's
little
like, you're
kid
gonna be like this forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then famously in Twilight, they have a baby.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so maybe Twilight explains.
fuck no.
Rapid-
No,
Rapid
we're not.
aging?
No, we're
Rapid
not
aging?
talking about that fucking movie and Stephanie Myers, who's just ruined pop culture. Anyway.
But hold on. But see, they have a baby and she just like ages really rapidly. So maybe that's what happens to like pure blood.
But you okay, so you
vampires.
get to a certain point.
Yeah.
But then like
You hit 35. Stop.
no, because
Well, that sucks for kids who are bitten as a vampire. They see these purebloods that are having babies that grow up to adult, and they're just like,
Yeah.
oh,
They're like, well,
I'm going to
fuck
stay like this
me.
forever.
I
I
get
can't.
12 for eternity.
I
then,
get
like-
carded every time I try and order a Bloody Mary.
But Udo Kier, the actor,
They just call it a bloody.
just a bloody.
Yeah.
But the council that Stephen Dorff's all, I'm better than you. Like they're all seem of varying ages, but they're also purebloods. So
David Goyer, explain yourself.
That was literally a head scratcher. Like I was thinking about. Like,
Yeah.
like the guy that they fry in front of the sun. Like
Yeah.
did he just when he that's what he looked like when he hit 35? Ooh, he's a
Yeah.
rough looking 35.
look, I mean,
Yeah, so they're born a vampire, but then like how do they age? Maybe they just
Do they
age-
procreate?
Well, yeah. I
Can-
would
that was
assume.
my next question.
Do they have do they have semen?
Again, if you think about Twilight, because they're dead, so
No. She isn't turned yet. Oh, fuck. Why are we talking about Twilight? Fuck Twilight. Okay, moving on. Let's get into some actual shit shows. Okay, so David Goyer, so he's being given this chance to direct. Now, he wrote and directed Zigzag in 2002, and this was his first movie that he did, and it's based off of a novel of the same name. And it stars John Leguizamo, Natasha Lyonne,
oh,
Patton Oswalt,
Okay.
in a very small part, and Wesley Snipes.
okay.
So, and it's on a budget of like 3.5 million.
oh, okay.
Be a really tiny movie. So he has directed before, but then he's also been involved with all these Blade movies. So it makes sense that he's kind of stepping up for this. Since the release of Blade, the comic book movie boom was in full swing. So New Line wanted the Blade franchise to have legs, meaning they wanted spin-offs.
They wanted like a Whistler movie,
Night Stalkers movie.
Night Stalkers movie.
When Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel signed on, their contracts included a Night Stalkers film.
Ah,
There is a deleted scene that sets this up.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's them like tracking down a werewolf.
Don't you know that fur is murder?
And David Goyer does do a cameo in that scene.
Is he the guy that gets like punched, but there's clearly no contact?
He's the guy that I think he's in a cowboy hat and he gets thrown
to
under
the
the
table?
table.
Okay.
That's him. Okay. From day one, filming Blade Trinity was a nightmare. First off, Natasha Lyonne, who has been very open about her alcohol and drug problems, was a mess during this movie and frequently had full-on mental breakdowns.
Interesting.
Oh. Jeez.
At this time, I think she was starting to get into heroin and stuff like that. She was told by Chris Christopherson, who was a country singer before he became an actor, right? He told her, "You remind me of my old friend, Janis Joplin."
Oh no, the 28 Club.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she was like, "Oh,
And she didn't take that as a warning.
She took that as I'm bad in this movie."
Oh, weird.
Oh no,
Yeah.
not
And he's like, no, you gotta fucking chill out.
Yeah,
with
no,
the
like-
drugs,
like-
friend.
I
Yeah.
can see a cry for help. I know a cry for help when I see
Yeah.
one. Like
She would not enter rehab until 2005. So still
like
2 years later.
2 years later. Okay.
So
Well,
she was
I'm
still
glad
going
she-
off into the deep
Yeah.
end.
oh, well, I'm glad you did because she's
Oh, she's
great.
hysterical. I fucking
She's
love
great.
Natasha Lyonne.
So while Leone was liked enough to be given sympathy, Wesley Snipes did not earn this. By all reports, Snipes was an absolute piece of shit on set. He's in his trailer hotboxing weed all day and would only come to set for close-ups. Why? He's done 2 films with the same team,
Yeah.
like basically the same people, and no problems, right? And this is his 4th film with David Goyer.
Yeah.
So why is he being a piece of shit?
I bet you're about to tell us.
Yeah. Ooh.
Let's back up to 2000. Snipes joined a group called American Rights Litigators, a law and tax firm that believes U.S. citizens should not pay income tax.
Okay.
The group helped people avoid tax laws and claim $1 million refunds from like previous years, using obviously very dubious claims and
Right,
total bullshit methods, right?
Cooking some books over there.
Yeah. And in 2003, just to prove how kind of off the chain they are, American rights litigators. In 2003, they changed their name to Guiding Light of God Ministries.
Oh my God.
Would they were lawyers who became all Christy?
I'm
That's weird.
No, I'm willing to bet is they changed it to make it a religion thing, and
So they could be tax exempt.
Yeah.
Those smart sons of bitches.
Ooh, hey.
So smart.
Yeah,
Should we be? It was a shit show ministry.
Yes.
I want to be tax exempt.
Yes.
Bam.
Shitty ministries.
Shitty ministries.
Well, just like all the others.
It was a shit church.
It was a shit church. We're just like, hey, listen, just do whatever you want. I don't know. We're not.
You guys gonna join our religion?
It's totally not a cult. We promise. It's just a shitty church.
Yeah.
You know.
We don't preach anything really.
Yeah, no.
Nah,
Don't be a dick. Fuck fascism.
Yeah.
Don't be a
exactly.
dick. Fuck fascism. Do what you want. Be chill. Be cool. I don't know.
Followers give us money.
Yeah. Send your donations to PO Box.
I mean, the patrons are already kind of paying tithes.
That's true. Yeah.
Tithes and offerings. Look, you're already part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may your tithes and offerings may not go to your eternal salvation, but we're gonna give you an endless supply of entertainment. All the laughs. And what's holier than laughter?
The laugh.
What's
That's
more
true.
joyful
Yeah,
than
that's
laughter?
right.
Yes.
I'm a minister with like the Universal Life Church. Like,
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
that's cool.
Oh, could we get tax exempt status for that?
I can
Let's try it.
Yeah,
Let's figure it out.
On top of the tax exempt we're already getting, it's like
Yeah.
a negative, right?
yeah. We'll
They
get.
give us money.
We're ranking in the positive.
Okay.
We're gonna have blood raining down on us.
Yeah. So this is the type of people that Snipes has been involved with.
Okay.
And he is kind of one of the main people working with this group. In September of 2003, first day of filming, Blade Trinity, the IRS began investigating Snipes and seizing his assets.
They can't confront him if he's not on set. Okay.
Well, no, where he's out of the country and he's at home.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And so he is furious.
Oh, of course.
He doesn't believe he should pay taxes, and now the IRS are all up in his ass.
Right. They're like seizing all of his
And
stuff.
so he is just in his trailer, just fuming and fuming.
Yes.
Like he is just furious.
Oh my god.
Fuming and furious.
Fuming and too
Two fumes,
too
too
furious.
furious.
Ryan Reynolds, Parker Posey, and Patton Oswalt, they confirm that Snipes is a method actor. So meaning he stays in character 100% of the time.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So you must refer to him as Blade.
As
my
Blade.
So Reynolds says his improv goofy acting style really ran counter to Snipes,
Oh,
who is
yeah.
not only is he dead serious, but he's also fucking furious that
Right.
he's even there.
Right.
Leading to him thinking that Snipes hated him.
Yeah.
So there's a scene in the movie where he goes, and Ryan Reynolds claims this was just an ad lib and he didn't know the cameras were rolling, but he said,
He hates me, doesn't he?
but that's
whatever
in
she
the
says.
movie.
That's in the movie. So was that actually Wesley Snipes hating Ryan Reynolds, or was that Blade hating Hannibal?
Yes. Yes.
So
the answer is yes.
The answer is yes, yeah.
this begins a feud that those two fucking hate each other. That Snipes cannot handle his shenanigans. Kind of like
When really it's just he's just like Ryan Reynolds was just being Hannibal King, and Wesley Snipes was just being Blade. They were both like I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, he's being method as Blade, but like Ryan Reynolds is kind of also being method as like Ryan Reynolds.
He's just being Ryan Reynolds.
I was gonna
That's all
say, I was like,
fucking knows
he's
how
not.
to- he
Yeah,
has
that's
one
what.
mode.
That's what he's been doing.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, this is Ray. This is a quote from Parker Posey. We can talk about Parker Posey after this, but this is her about working on this movie and with Wesley Snipes.
I came here to do something fun and stupid and big budget, and I don't normally get to do that kind of thing. Don't have the boobs for it, you know? So I'm just showing up, saying my lines, having fun with it, and Wesley isn't.
That's good.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, Clint, you're going to be our Patton Oswalt.
Okay.
This is him talking about working with Wesley Snipes, who doesn't show up to set, only for close-ups, and having Ryan Reynolds sit there and talk his ass off.
Okay. A lot of the lines that Ryan Reynolds has were just a result of Wesley not being there. We would all just kind of think of things for him to say and then cut to Wesley's face not doing anything because that's all we could get from him. It's so dumb. That was an example of a very troubled shoot that we made fun. You have to find a way to make it fun.
So
We're gonna make a movie called Blade and not have Blade on set at all. So let's just make some shit up.
That is absolutely apparent. Because it's barely a Blade movie. And he's hardly in it.
Yeah.
And it becomes like the Ryan Reynolds show. And he is so goddamn annoying in that movie.
yes.
Oh my God.
Well, what did you say after the movie? You're like, it's obnoxious because he has no one to play with.
Yeah.
Like in the other like in the Deadpool movies and whatnot, and even Wolverine, he has someone to bounce off of, and Abigail and Blade don't say shit.
Right. Yeah. There were so many parts of that movie. It's incredible where he would like say some smart ass Deadpool line, and then it would just cut to Jessica Biel and Wesley Snipes, and they would just be like,
I'm sorry, I ate a lot of sugar today.
and you're like, nothing? All right, okay. Like there was no one.
Yeah.
There was no one to absorb yes-anding him, absorbing his bullshit.
I have been in those scenes doing improv where you say something and they just have nothing to say back. Like, okay, that's rough.
Yeah, like we were talking about Deadpool, like T.J. Miller. They bounce off of each other. The actress who plays Vanessa, they bounce off of each other, and so you have someone there who kind of tempers his. Like Ryan Reynolds-ness, but in this it's like just him, and you're just like, shut the fuck up. Like I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
And not only, he also fucking sucks. He doesn't accomplish jack shit in that movie.
Yeah,
the only vampire you see him kill, he kills accidentally.
Oh, really?
because he kills the guy who throws him through the window, but he jumps through and he's like, Blade, this is your rescue, and then he tries to shoot Triple H. And that guy moves out of the way, and he accidentally shoots the guy behind him. And this is confirmed by the camera on his gun.
Yeah.
And it shows the moment. It's like, so you accidentally killed that guy. Then he's immediately like taken out, and then it's just worthless the whole fucking movie. When there's those lines when they're torturing Hannibal, and he's just saying all these fucking wacky lines, and Ray's like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, I'm like, what is that? What does any of that mean? What even is that? But then he said thunder, and I was like, okay, no cock juggling thunder. Anyway, and I was just like, that's fucking fantastic. Okay, like I hated everything else except that one line, and I'm gonna now call people that.
But then there was like Parker Posey's line after that. It's like,
How about you take a sugar frosted fuck off the end of my dick?
And how about everyone here not saying the word dick anymore? It provokes my envy.
Their exchange was like nonsense. It's like, what are you even talking about?
What are we accomplishing here?
I was
like, what are they
irate.
doing with him?
They wanted to find out Blade's plan, even though it was originally their plan.
It's like they were trying to do, they're like, isn't this so fun and funny? And I'm like, no, I'm just mad. I'm just mad about it.
All right, so let's get into all the real shit. A lot of the widely circulated reports about the movie come from Patton Oswalt. As he says in an interview, he was like, I'm in this business for two reasons, the money and the anecdotes.
Patton, you're a fucking treasure.
I love Patton Oswalt.
Goddamn.
So he talks about the weed. He always talks about like how you just walk past his trailer and it just hit you in the face. Talks about the method acting. But the most important moment was the T-shirt incident.
The T-shirt incident.
Womp, womp,
Okay.
womp.
One day, the actors were encouraged to bring their own outfits for shooting. There's like, yeah, you're looking like you're just normal selves.
That's
whatever,
a bad
right?
idea, but okay. Continue.
And Ron Selmore, he plays Dex, the black man. This is important. That he's the guy that shows up in the car.
He's the other guy on the team.
Yeah, the other guy, and he has like one other scene where he's playing basketball. And like, that's it. Right?
And then he and Patton get killed on the basketball
yeah,
court.
exactly.
Yeah.
So during that scene, he wore his own T-shirt for the band Garbage.
Okay.
Snipes sees this and fucking snaps. He's yelling at Goyer, calling him a racist motherfucker for putting the only other black man in the movie in a T-shirt, making him call himself Garbage.
Oh no, Wesley.
He gets so mad, he attempts to strangle Goyer.
Damn.
That's crazy.
So from Patton's story, he says he attempted to strangle him. Okay. That night, Goyer, Oswald, and a few others go to a strip club to blow off some steam.
Yeah.
And then the blood raven.
Say like, did it rain blood at one point?
And there's a bunch of bikers there. And Goyer goes up to him and offers to pay for all of their drinks if they show up on set tomorrow and pretend to be Goyer's new security.
Oh my god.
They do.
Oh my God.
And this only angers Snipes even further.
Is he trying to antagonize him, or does he
Yeah.
think he's just being funny, or what? Or
I think this was a joke.
okay.
This was a joke, but Snipes is not in the headspace for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
notoriously mad about the tax situation,
Yeah.
smoking a lot of weed, method actor.
Doesn't realize that Garbage is
Does
a band.
not
Garbage
understand
is a band,
bands.
Yeah. Okay. This is Patton Oswalt about what happened next.
The next day, Wesley sat down with David and was like, I think you need to quit. You're detrimental to this movie. And David was like, why don't you quit? We've got all your close-ups and we could shoot the rest with your stand-in. And that freaked Wesley out so much that for the rest of the production, he would only communicate with the director through Post-it notes, and he would sign each Post-it note from Blade. That is some childish,
That
Bullshit.
is
petty
childish
bullshit.
That makes the moment in Deadpool versus Wolverine where he's like, I'm the only Blade or whatever. Like,
We'll get to that.
Way more important.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the petty bullshit that's happening on set.
Yeah. Listen, actors have big egos, but I also feel like if you're David Goyer, part of your job is to fucking manage that and not antagonize
Yeah.
your star. Because like the whole hiring the bikers and the like, I don't know, like it's just like you have to smooth that shit over and just like get through the movie. And it
Yeah.
sucks and is annoying, but like you have to do it.
But but keep in mind at this point, it's been a fucking nightmare already.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it's gotten so over the top. But also, Snipes is a producer on the film, so he has weight. Like,
right. He technically kind of outranks him in that sense.
in a way. Yeah.
Would he have like firing power?
Oh, we'll get to this.
Whoa. We're
Okay.
starting this podcast.
Towards the end of filming, journalist Chris Perry visits the set for Spin Magazine. Perry is given almost complete access to the set.
Oh my
now,
God.
generally, when a press are invited to this set, it's like this hour thing where they're like, you're going to watch them shoot this scene. The actor's going to come out. You can ask him some questions. Maybe the director. Okay, everybody go.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you will be promptly booted out
Yeah,
on
exactly.
your ass.
Yeah.
Perry is just given free reign.
He's
just
hot
walking-
boxing with
he's-
Wesley in this
yeah.
trailer.
He's walking around and he is interviewing everyone he can.
Interesting.
And he's
Oh my
he
God.
talks to Goyer, he talks to Reynolds, he talks to Posey. That's where he got that Posey quote. To the lighting guys, to the makeup department.
Oh my God.
Like, and everybody is telling the same stories. Snipes from the onset has been vocal about his dissatisfaction with Goyer from the start of it, and so he's not obviously not hiding that. Also, the makeup department has trouble for like having him just to stay for his required amount of time. Mostly, like, I'm assuming to do, like, the tattoos and stuff like that.
His hair did look significant. I kept bringing it up. I was like, his hair looks stupid in this one.
Yeah. It was noticeably stupid.
You could tell. You could tell that he was like, it's fine. And they're like,
Exactly, right? Walks away. Perry confirms that Snipes is held up in his trailer all the time, and you can it just reeks of weed. And he would only show up on set completely stoned, which is a really good thing that he's always wearing.
Sunglasses.
You know, but what he really would need, some eye drops.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my kid's eye drops. That's what he needs.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it.
That was forced.
Oh, man.
Perry states, the rules were clear. If the camera wasn't in Wesley's face, then Wesley would not be on set. Goyer tells him they're shooting the end scene where it's his body laying there, right?
Yeah.
And Goyer tells Perry how they have to replace Snipes' face digitally. And he's like, and we have to do that a lot. Perry says the T-shirt story is a widely discussed incident that everybody knows about.
Yeah.
And that's
Craft service is like preparing the meal. Did you hear about the garbage shirt?
yeah, I mean, really, yeah. So in that, Snipes was so mad that he wanted the actor fired, and Goyer refused. And Snipes never left his trailer for 2 days straight. Okay, we've never talked about this before, but January, can you explain Video Village?
Yeah, Video Village is the place on a set where, like, the director and usually the script supervisor and a handful of people are sitting behind the monitors, like, watching what is being recorded. So
you can see all the different
yeah,
where all the
so like
cameras are shooting.
right, exactly. So they have like the monitors up and they're like listening to they have like headphones, they're listening to the audio.
So the actors are not directly in front of them. Like they're not
correct.
next to the camera.
Yeah, like the director's not usually standing at the camera with the cinematographer. Like he's in Video Village watching the playback, like the feed from the camera coming in.
And then also they can come back there and like watch a take.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, I liked what you did.
They
here,
can
that kind of, like,
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Like they'll like actors will sometimes come back and they'll watch what they just did and do like a replay and then talk about if they need to change anything. And
Yeah, cool.
that makes sense. Thank you for explaining it to me and to our audience who may not know what that is.
So in Video Village, there was an article taped to one of the monitors from a tabloid about an extra who threatened to fight Snipes if he continually treated the crew like shit.
Whoa.
damn, that's a ballsy extra.
He was like a big biker guy. And he was just like, you fucking piece of shit. Like, you can stop doing that. And whatever that article was. And nobody rejected it to being in Video Village. Not even David Goyer. Like, it was just out in the open.
Well, they knew
there's that.
They knew Wesley wasn't going to see it.
Yeah, he was never
pretty
there.
much, right?
Well, he wasn't going to Video Village. I was like, no thanks.
Yeah, I was like, is there pot there? No, okay, I'm not going.
Yeah, that's not where catering is, right? So, Ray, this is you're going to be our anonymous executive source.
Oh, shit.
Who did not want to say who they were because obviously they were a little high up for how spicy this quote is.
Spicy quote. Should we like
do a voice modulator on me, or just like put me like silhouette me, like backlight me, so that I'm all like you can't see my face.
All right. He's a dick. He's the star of this fucking movie. It's the only thing he's got going for him in his career, and he treats us all like idiots. Even his own co-stars. He doesn't talk to them face to face. Instead, he has his assistant do it. He refers to Ryan Reynolds as that cracker. Tell that cracker to get out of my eye line, and tell that cracker to go get his lines right. He refers to Jessica Biel as that girl. Honestly, I've never seen anything like this in a decade in production. And if it weren't for the fact that everyone is working so hard to make up for his crap, I probably would have walked first week.
Whoa.
That is spicy.
That is crazy.
Spicy. I love it. Also, like, look, it's totally rude, but I find it hilarious that he called Ryan Reynolds that cracker. That just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So,
because, like, bro looks like a cracker. Sorry. Like, his hair... His fucking, like, stupid-ass facial hair and hair was the worst. I was just like, it's such early 2000s, like, nonsense garbage. I was like, ugh, remember Just remember.
Yeah.
It's bad time.
I was there.
But it's stuff like this is that why people were like, oh, everybody's experiencing it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
keeping a lid on this is impossible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not just like there were two people who were kind of in a fight and it was like a he said, or he said, she said, or whatever. It's just like, no, everyone is just like, yeah, he fucking sucks the most.
Yeah.
Everybody's is witness to it, and everybody is very open about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the publicist that escorted Perry around is kind of like, do you have anything to say about all this? And she goes, I'm supposed to give you the company line, but it's true. And I'm really sick of covering for him.
Oh my God, the publicist was even like, I don't
Fuck
give
this.
a shit anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even give a shit.
So Spin Magazine does not publish Perry's report, as Snipes' star had fallen so far at that point. So by the time the first Blade movie came out, he was a huge star.
Yeah.
By the time Blade Trinity came out, he was already doing B-movie direct-to-DVD shit.
Oh, okay.
So
they just didn't want to pile on?
no, they were just like
no one cares about Wesley
No one
Snipes.
cares about
Oh,
Wesley
okay, like,
Snipes.
why are we gonna publish this? No one's gonna-
yeah,
yeah.
it's
They're
not
like,
that interesting.
Even though it's like super spicy quotes, everyone's
Yeah,
like,
this is great for
no,
me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no one gives a shit about Wesley Snipes.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So, during promotion of the film, nearly every interview, outlets ask about the rumors of how difficult Snipes was on set because they can't keep a lid on this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And ask if they experienced any of that drama. Ryan Reynolds was like, "Oh, it's all overblown. Like it's
He's
not that bad."
trying to save face.
A little bit, right?
Trying to be like, look, our publicist is like just giving up. Like,
I gotta.
I'll try.
So, as does David Goyer. This is him promoting the movie about on-set issues.
You know what? There's drama on every fucking movie. When you're working that hard and you're working so many hours, and when you're up there for so long, everybody breaks down. It's just so hard, but it happens.
This is Goyer downplaying the experience for the sake of promoting his movie.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of saying like, "Guy, it was fucking terrible." Like,
Look, I mean, if you were to say like, no, it was fucking nightmare.
yeah,
And you should see what we made.
yeah, right.
I don't
Just,
know.
like,
I would
lean into it.
actually be like, oh, like I want to watch
Yeah,
the movie
like-
more now.
I mean,
He only showed up for close-ups?
What?
I gotta go and pick that apart.
I gotta go see if I
gotta
can
figure
see.
this
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Digitally put on his face? Let's
yeah.
find out what scenes those were.
Yeah, right. Since its release, Goyer has said how difficult it was, but is very tight-lipped about what exactly happened. Like he never gives like
Any more details than he's already had?
Yeah.
Because Patton Oswalt was giving those stories about the
Exactly.
T-shirt and about the biker gang. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's actually pretty good of him to not be like he's like, well, I'm gonna be political and like not say anything too bad,
Yeah.
but then everyone else is like, oh, we saw some shit.
Yeah, exactly. So this is David Goyer in 2016 asking about, was it actually troubled? Was it a troubled set?
That was the most personally and professionally difficult and painful thing I've ever been through. Having said that, I have incredibly fond memories of working with Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel and a lot of people on that movie. It was a challenged shoot, as has been reported. What can I say? So he's not denying anything, but he's not openly being like, yeah that shit, this specific shit. He's like, look, the things you heard, it was a troubled shoot.
I think at that point he has to acknowledge it, or else people would be like, dude, you're full of shit. Like we've all heard.
Yeah, right.
But I do love from his previous quote, he's like, I don't know, all movies are hard. Like, I don't know, you almost get strangled by your lead actor on every movie you do. Is that not normal? Does that not happen to everybody? I almost get strangled on every set I'm on.
Yeah. Is it me?
The shark on Jaws almost strangled Steven Spielberg, right?
You all heard about that, right?
E.T. was really pissed. And
So funny you should say that. When asked directly about Oswald's story about Snipes almost strangling him, did this happen? This is David Goyer in 2021.
let's just say I have tremendous respect for Wesley as an actor. He used to be a friend. We're not friends anymore. I'm friends with Patton, and I worked with Patton since, so I don't think anyone involved in that film had a good experience on that film. Certainly I didn't. I don't think anybody involved with that film is happy with the results. It was a very tortured production.
So he's not denying it.
No.
Way to talk around it, David. Nice.
Wow.
That's such a political answer.
So
That's
political.
A very
well, even
like,
this,
I
well,
think-
even this far after the fact, like this was just 4 years ago when he
Yeah.
was asked about it. You can't just be like, yeah.
I think there was a big moment for him, and he was excited about it, and he was completely crushed by it. And I think it's more
it's more hard
just
to-
like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. I know. Now I feel bad.
Yeah.
And now I also feel bad that I said that Ryan Reynolds was annoying. He was. But I feel bad that I said that because he was just trying to do
Trying
his
to bring
best.
something
Yeah,
into
trying
the
to bring
movie.
some
He's
levity
just like,
to it.
hey,
Yeah.
hoo, ha, hoo,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
ha. Like he's
Yeah.
trying to just
We're
cheer
big, we're
everybody up.
actors. We're making fun stuff.
Hey,
Like,
we're
yeah.
movies.
Okay, Blade Trinity released December 8th, 2004. On a budget of $65 million, it grossed $52 million in the United States, $131 million worldwide. So that's kind of a split difference with marketing, probably not.
Yeah,
Didn't make
yeah.
a lot.
Did the budget go up 10 million each one? Was it?
Almost.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost. Rotten Tomatoes, 24% with critics, 58% with audiences.
How dare you? How dare you, people?
You know what I find interesting though is that like we've talked about.
No. Sorry, I was just mad about that it was.
No, yeah,
58%.
I agree with you there.
Because what were the critics for the other ones? It was like the same.
Yeah, the first movie was 58% for
Gross.
critics.
Oh no, but for
For
audience.
audiences, it was 78,
Oh,
and
okay,
then
okay.
it was 78, 68, 58.
Oh,
Oh,
so
so
it
it
went
down-
up 10 million, but then down
down-
10%
yeah.
in fan ratings. Okay,
But
makes sense.
no, it's just one of those. It's a thing where I always think about. It's like, this is why when people are like, "Ooh, critics don't fucking get it," and you're like, this is also why audiences don't fucking get it either.
Yeah.
Like that
No.
movie is not 58% good.
That movie is a hot pile of garbage. Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, I'm curious to know. Like we've heard from Goyer, we've heard from like Patton Oswalt, we've heard from Parker Posey. But like, I want to know like what was Triple H's experience. I want to know what Dominic Purcell's like experience was.
I don't know.
You know? Okay. I just wonder about that. Like, because I mean these are the kind of like the bigger names, but I guess Jessica Biel also said like, yeah, he was just really a jerk. I don't know. I want to.
Yeah.
I want to know more, Ian. Do more research.
This was not
We're
enough
not
research.
done.
Oh shit. Oh, okay. Here we go. Settle in, Ray. Settle in.
Yes.
Ooh, hold on, I gotta do some
I know. Yeah. Right. Like
stretches.
we're over 35.
I'm over 35. Okay.
But yeah, 24%. There's some moments of okayness in the movie. I think
Name one.
some of the action is okay.
Yeah, the action. I was like, wow, Wesley Snipes has still got it. But then I'm thinking, it probably wasn't him.
We'll get to that.
Oh,
So, 4 months after the release, Snipes sues New Line Cinema,
whoa.
executive producer Toby Emmerich, and David Goyer. So, Snipes claims that he was not consulted on the director, screenplay, and supporting cast of Blade Trinity, which was in violation of his contract.
Oh
So
my
you were
god,
talking
you
about this
you
earlier.
kidding me? Like you go through the whole entire production, the film is released. Like, oh wait a minute,
Wait a minute.
I didn't approve any of this.
Yeah.
What the fuck, you didn't? Yeah, you did.
He was stoned the whole time, though. So, to be fair,
He says he was not told about Goyer directing until 6 weeks before filming began.
okay, then complain about it then.
Even though this was announced in August of 2001, 3 years prior. Okay. He said he wasn't given an opportunity to discuss the script, therefore unable to object to the juvenile humor, and that the final film was clearly made to set up spin-offs, pushing Blade to the side. Okay. So that's a little jumbled mess one there, because it's kind of like, yes, they did want to make spin-offs.
Right,
He also wasn't on set a lot.
right.
Yeah.
So they had to use those characters to fill in with the
fill
shit he
in.
wasn't doing.
Yeah. It's like you pushed yourself to the side, bro.
Yeah. And I think in a lot of that juvenile humor was probably all the bullshit that
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Reynolds
This is
was
all
doing to
improvising.
fill in the gaps.
Yeah, it was due to his lack of being on set.
Set. Exactly.
Right.
He also claims he was harassed and defamed because of his race. He says the production didn't advise him on casting like they did on the last two films, Subsequently, the cast is made up of mostly white people. This led to him having feelings of isolation and exclusion. Snipes says Goyer was difficult, unprofessional, and made racist comments towards him, and that Goyer, quote, refused to discipline a crew member who wore a racially discriminatory T-shirt on the set. So the T-shirt is in a lawsuit now. That T-shirt incident.
And that guy's like,
it's not that.
Yeah. And the guy's like,
the band is called Garbage.
I know. He's like, I just really like Garbage. I
what
didn't
have
know.
I done here?
I know, yeah. I just saw them in concert. I danced to I Think I'm Paranoid.
Yeah.
And
now I'm feeling paranoid.
Yeah.
Did I cause all this?
yeah, that poor guy, that poor actor. He's like, they said I could bring my own shirt.
Yeah.
This lawsuit comes out 2 days after it's made public. Journalist Chris Perry reads it, and he decides to unload about his set visit that Spin magazine discarded. So that's where all those details came from.
Oh my
Because
God.
he was just like...
He was just kind of sitting on it for...
He was just like, this is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And then so he was like, this is all the things I heard on set. These
Right.
are all the people that said he was being an obnoxious piece of shit. And he also points out that he was like, this was shot in Vancouver. There were dozens of black crew members on set. And he's like, so his idea that he was feeling isolated and excluded, it was like, or was it because you were holed up in your fucking trailer? You little piece?
Yeah,
No,
it just feels like like all of these things were things that he could have complained about before the movie even started.
Yeah, if he
actually had a problem with all of it,
because he has producer credit.
He has the power.
Yeah, he could have done a lot of these things, but he clearly wasn't paying attention,
Right.
and then he was just mad about his money.
He also wasn't like some, like third build or fourth build actor or extra or crew member who didn't have any power or any say. Like he was, even
He's
though
fucking Blade.
he was, like he's the titular character. He's Wesley fucking Snipes. Like you know what I mean? Like he could have done something about it before now. So that's the thing that bugs me about this kind of stuff is that when people are like, wait a minute, now I'm mad. It's like, okay, this just feels like a weird cash grab or a weird
tantrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Perry points out the exact same thing I thought when I read the lawsuit.
Okay.
So the Perry's thing was like the last thing I found. Fucking goldmine. Great. Loved it. But I was already like through most of the research, and I was like, wait a minute. So in addition to all the claims in the lawsuit, at the very tail end of it, Snipes says that because he was, quote, employed by a Swiss loan-out company and that the movie was filmed in Canada, therefore he should have been exempt from
taxes. It all comes back to the taxes. It's all about being tax exempt.
It's almost entirely all a smokescreen because of this.
Yeah.
He says he still owed $3 million of his $13 million starring fee because New Line taxed his salary.
Oh my God.
This guy.
And it's like, it was just like at the end of it, you're like, oh, you fucking
it's about
guy.
the taxes.
Yeah.
See, he's holed up in his chair the whole time I got a great idea.
He's just sitting there reading like tax code, like just like line by line, like highlighting things.
Yeah.
How can I get out of paying taxes?
He's like right on post-its. Oh, but don't use those notes. Those are for Goyer. Those are my Goyer
Yeah.
post-it notes.
These are my Goyer notes. These are my
have
taxes.
Wesley on it. Only the ones for Blade. Take those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So, well, I mean, he should have read more about his tax code because nothing comes of this lawsuit as Snipes is convicted for tax fraud in 2008. In 2010, he began his 2.5-year prison sentence.
That's right. That's right.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
He did not die.
No, I'm aware.
Are you?
I mean, I
At the
am
end of this
now.
story, I'm going to go, now he's dead.
Yeah. Right.
And then
Well,
my head's
In
gonna
Deadpool
explode
and
again.
Wolverine, that was another actor that just digital face.
Yeah.
They already had to use they used the digital face from Blade Trinity.
Okay, so 2020, Snipes is interviewed by The Guardian, and they ask him about Oswald's t-shirt story. He first scoffs at the idea of Oswald being a reliable authority on him. Strangling rumor? Says never happened. If it had if it did, he would be in jail. He's like, I would have, like, I'm a black man. They would have thrown me in jail if I did that.
Okay.
Post-it note story. Laughs and asks, why would people believe Oswald? This is Snipes about the accusations read to him from Oswald's stories.
This is part of the challenges that we as African Americans face here in America, these microaggressions. The presumption that one white guy can make a statement and that statement stands as true. Why would people believe his version is true? Because they are predisposed to believing the black guy is always the problem. And all it takes is one person, Mr. Oswald, who I really don't know. I can barely remember him on the set, but it's fascinating that his statement alone was enough to make people go, yeah, you know, Snipes has got a problem.
There's a lot going on in there.
Yeah.
So he is, albeit three white people in a basement saying this, but he's playing the race card here and
Yeah.
inappropriately.
It's really hard though to argue. That's why you
do it.
use
It
that
shuts down the argument,
Yeah, it
right?
shuts down the argument.
And it wasn't just him.
Right.
He's just the one talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? There were dozens of stories of this shit going on.
Yeah.
And so he's just attacking him once. But then the defense of I can barely remember him on set. Well, why the fuck is that, Wesley? Because you were on set?
Because you weren't on set.
That's not really a defense.
Yeah.
I mean, but also
there are 3 scenes with Patton and Blade.
Yeah.
There are 3 scenes that they take place together, and he hardly remembers him. It's
I mean, he was either stoned or not there. But also, I barely remember Patton Oswalt in that movie because he was barely in that fucking movie and was used very stupidly in that movie.
You know, whether or not like specific aspects of those stories are true, whether or not, you know, they are or aren't, like you said, the fact remains that there are dozens of other stories that corroborate just how difficult he was.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it kind of I wish the person interviewing him was like, here are all the
Here
things.
are 10 other people. Here's this anonymous executive saying that you were a dick.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is if it really was just like, oh, Patton Oswalt says, if it was a he said, he said, you could be like, well, you'll not know, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, everybody literally was like, he fucking sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Makeup, craft services, the guy who gets your coffee, the person in the payroll clerk, like everyone is just
garbage
like, dude,
man,
the
sucks.
publicist, everybody.
The fucking publicist is like, bro, it's bad. It's fucking bad, bro.
Oh boy. Yeah, the person
Like the person whose job it is to be like, everything's fine. Was like,
right. Yeah.
I've seen some
listen,
shit.
I've seen some shit.
So at the end of this story, he states that being an executive producer on the film gave him decision-making powers that was a, quote, hard concept for a lot of people to wrap their heads around.
No, it's not.
That's what an executive producer is.
Yes,
They make decisions.
Everybody knows.
But it's right with the race stuff too. So I think he's kind of throwing that in there, and it's like, you don't think other stars, Tom Cruise and Will Smith, have these same powers? Like they all like it just, he's just trying to talk his way out of this and make it seem like it's a bigger microcosm of something that it's just like, no, you were just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like
he's not taking accountability for his behavior. And and like he threw a tantrum and he was an asshole and he's trying to talk his way out of it. That's what it sounds like happened.
And in that same article he's like, do you regret all your tax stuff? And he like, I did those things. Were they correct things? No. Do I regret them? I don't think I did anything wrong. Like he talks like that.
I see.
And you're like, blah, 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 blah. you just don't. It's it's kind of crazy. Okay, in 2024, Snipes reprised his role of Blade in Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoilers. In which Blade says to Deadpool,
I don't like you. You never did.
So it's kind of a weird thing. So at Comic-Con, after a screening, Snipes does an interview with Entertainment Weekly in which he says that they're 20-year feud has always been a joke.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And
I feel like no.
That same publicist was probably just like, all right, now listen. We all know what happened.
yeah.
Let's just kind of try and fix this.
Let's just pretend it was a joke.
I feel like that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Was
And her
just
face is like this.
Yeah.
This is a joke. Oh.
Smile.
Don't strangle me.
Yeah, don't strangle me.
So that was kind of like a callback, kind of like just an inside joke to that whole thing. But
Right.
it's also like, it goes back to the line in Blade Trinity where he doesn't like me. And she's like, yeah, which was an improv moment. Was that actually a thing that between Blade and Hannibal, or was it between Reynolds and Snipes? And so it kind of plays on both sides of that.
Yeah.
I mean, whose idea was it to write Blade into that movie? Like, was
Ryan
it?
Reynolds. He reached out to him.
Okay.
And
Hey, Wesley.
Hey, Wesley. It's your friend Ryan.
It's that cracker.
that cracker that stole your movie.
Do you wanna,
your franchise.
yeah, remember how you're not relevant anymore, but I'm like super relevant?
Also, I'm a mogul, but I pay my taxes anyway.
Yeah. I bought a soccer team. Do you want to come and be in my movie? You'll be Blade again. Like, you remember Blade? Your best favorite role, right?
Last time you were relevant.
Yeah.
Oh God.
In 2019, Blade was announced as an MCU film with Mahershala Ali. I don't want to get into this. 2 years earlier, Snipes claimed he was meeting with Marvel to reprise Blade. That was probably all bullshit. This movie has fallen into development hell, and this is why when in Deadpool and Wolverine, Blade says,
There's only been one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade.
and then Deadpool nods at the camera like, which kind of can play both ways as like, yeah, that's right, and versus like, he doesn't know.
Little
Like,
does he know.
Yeah, so it kind of plays both ways.
Yeah,
All right. Lastly, recently there was a viral video about Wesley Snipes being so belligerent that he refused to open his eyes for a scene. So they CGI'd them opening. Did you notice that his eyes were CG?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty obvious.
I mean, he has kind of freaky eyes anyway, but yeah.
You know when like in ancient cultures when they paint like eyeballs on like your eyelids?
Like when
That-
there's the like Egyptian sarcophagus and they like painted
Yeah.
like lifeless eyes on the
Yeah.
top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
the vibe.
That's the vibe I got.
That feels right.
So this story spread like wildfire because all the stories we've heard for decades about the production. However, in this case, this has been blown out of proportion. First of all, it's a deleted alternate ending.
Yeah.
So I remember watching the movie going, waiting for that moment, and it never happened. In the original, Dracula shapeshifts into Blade, and they take the body to the morgue only for it to morph back into Dracula. Drake.
Listen.
All right, let's talk about this. So he's still dead.
Wait, the fact that they called Dracula Drake?
Okay, no, let's go. Well, hold on.
We're talking vampire logic
Let's talk
again.
about the fucking ending. Okay, so the gift.
Yeah.
You were like, what the fuck is he talking
talking
about?
about?
He's like, I have one last gift for you.
Yeah.
And then,
And I was like, what?
and I thought it was just like, my last gift to you is like, the humans will never accept you. Like that was the line, because he says, I have one more gift for you.
Kinda like a jab.
And then he's like, yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right?
One last gift for you.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
But okay, so, but
Drake out.
But so I was reading the thing about, it's like, no, the gift was that he shapeshifts.
He shapeshifts into
back.
Blade so that they think they got Blade, so they'll
Blade.
stop looking for Blade.
Yeah, that's the gift.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pull this thread a little bit.
But then he changes back into himself, so
At
then
the-
they go,
well,
okay, like,
so-
we didn't get Blade, obviously, so...
It makes no fucking sense.
No, it's the whole thing is dumb and doesn't make any sense, and I have no answers for you, because I agree with you that it's stupid. Because even if he shapeshifted into Blade and they took Blade and the police showed up and they were like, oh, there's Blade, we got him. He shapeshifts back into not Blade, so they'd be like, well, fuck, we didn't get him, I guess we better keep looking for Blade. Like,
Exactly my
he
point.
accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's
So his
It
gift
was-
is even that much bigger of like a fuck you, Blade.
It was entirely for the benefit of the audience.
I know. It makes no fucking sense.
No.
He held on to life.
Yeah.
For that
Until at the very end, when he was on the slab, he was like, okay, now I can die. And
Well, and then, like, your point was like, wait,
But he doesn't. He does. All the other vampires get burned up in the sun, but we already shown that he doesn't do that. So he wouldn't have burned up in the sun.
I can't make any
Oh yeah,
sense
we
of
talked
it.
about that too. I was like, wait, why is he like immune to the sun? And you were like, well, because he's the first vampire. And I was like,
No, that's not what I said. That's what he says.
Oh.
He just says, I'm the original.
The original, and it's like,
what does that
okay.
mean?
Stephanie
But, like-
Myers would know.
but then shouldn't he be even more allergic to
Yeah,
the
right?
sun?
Shouldn't he be the worst
The
version of
worst?
that?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Twilight makes more sense than this movie, vampire lore wise. And Twilight does not make a whole goddamn lot of sense.
Okay, so that's the original ending of the
Okay.
movie. In the alternate version, it's Blade that is actually brought back to the morgue, and he wakes up and beats up all the doctors. Now, notably, not the
They're just trying
FBI.
to do their jobs.
I know.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know. But notably, not the FBI agents, the two characters that we were following there.
that we
Okay.
saw like once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, James Remar.
Remar, who's terrible. So anyway, Goyer on the DVD states that Snipes didn't open his eyes in the shot. So they used CGI to do it. All he says is that Snipes did not open his eyes in the shot.
That's all I said. Okay.
That is what the internet ran with. VFX supervisor adds that the scene was added after Snipes had finished the film.
Right.
So if you put two and two together, Snipes didn't open his eyes because that wasn't the version of the scene he was doing.
Right. He wasn't supposed to
that
open
wasn't
his
the direction
eyes.
he was given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So it wasn't that he was being a belligerent asshole. It was that like the ending of the movie originally was that he was dead.
Yeah,
So
and
he
they-
didn't have to open his
Yeah,
eyes.
and so they just changed it. They came up with that other ending after he had left.
Yeah.
Used a stunt double, and if you notice, the two FBI agents are there when he gets taken to the morgue. When they see him morph back, and they're like, "What the fuck?" But when he gets up and beats up everybody else, those two aren't there. So
Okay.
again, it just looks like a reshoot. So that is a one we can give Snipes. Like
Yeah.
that is not his fault. That was just them testing something, and obviously they didn't go with it.
Yeah.
Right.
They should have just gone with the werewolf
Ending have been a lot more interesting. Well, I don't know. Fucking movie. Okay, random facts. Goyer said from the beginning, Goyer said that he didn't want crosses to be a defense against vampires because he's like, what if the vampire's Jewish?
Yeah.
And this is one of the other things I've always hated about vampires is
That's
like
really a fucking
that-
good point, David Goyer.
The crosses are this thing
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're you can do this with anything and it burdens them or attacks
Yeah.
them, and it's like, but that makes it inherent that Christianity is real and that God is real. Like
Yeah.
like you have to accept all of that for vampires to work. Like
I'm an atheist vampire, bitch.
yeah,
Well,
don't
that's-
work
What do you
on
got
me.
on me?
That's why that scene in The Mummy with Benny, where he's like, which necklace do I use? And he has like one for every religion and he's trying them all. That's like so fucking brilliant because it's just like, yeah,
Yeah,
like
which one?
so good.
Uh,
Okay, so that's a point for David Goyer on vampire lore. I agree.
Yeah. Check. One for David Goyer.
Yep. And no holy water, same thing. Right?
holy water doesn't come up in
No,
Blade at
they
all,
say
does
in
it?
Blade 1, they're like holy water and crosses like don't do shit.
Oh, okay.
It's
They did say
sunlight
that.
and garlic and steaks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And silver.
Okay. Apple did not pay for the product placement in Blade Trinity, which there was a lot of.
The app, yeah, the iPod and
The
all.
iPod
oh
and
my-
all the computers they were using also were all.
Oh my god. The whole thing where it's like, she's gotta put her iPod in and get her playlist out to hunt. I was like, fuck you. Stupid.
Abigail, I'm dying! Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, blood red. She's listening to the soundtrack to Blade 1. She's like, this fucking slaps.
I'm dying!
It's like,
What was that?
this soundtrack to Blade 1 is way better than this bullshit movie's soundtrack.
Oh my god. Apple did not pay for that, but they did give them a discount of 60% if they bought the products. Clay Donahue Fontenot.
Fontenot?
Fondant?
Fontenot.
Fondant.
Sorry.
We have to cut all this.
You had better not.
No, I'm leaving it in.
Okay, Clay Donahue Fontenot, who he was Snipes' double.
Okay.
So in other words, he's the star of Blade.
He's Blade. Yeah, gotcha.
He was the star of Blade Trinity. He talked about when he was talking to Chris Perry on set, he was like, I have no idea what this film's going to look like. Because he's doing so much stand-in. But if they can pull that off, maybe there will be a time when we don't need actors anymore. And it was like, whoa. I mean, kind of now.
Yeah.
We're reviving dead people. There are AI is becoming a whole thing.
Goddamn prophet. He is going to be the leader of our shit church.
Oh my God, he's our Messiah.
Yeah, we're going to seek him out.
We only worship the one true Blade, Fontenot.
So last thing I want to say about all this is that this is a story that has the benefit of removed time from the production. Like a lot of people ask us to cover stuff more current. And I feel like when we did Barbie, I was trying to capture that, but it did a disservice because there are things that come out after.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of that. There all this stuff with Snipes getting arrested and going to prison, and then his quotes about afterwards, him showing up in Daredevil and Wolverine, like that doesn't bookend the story very well if I did this years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's just a good example of stepping away for it, allowing people to start actually talking about it, where you have David Goyer going, oh, no, I mean, everything was fine. It was just, movie sets are crazy.
Productions are hard.
Yeah, right.
know?
And then now he's like, it was terrible, and I'm very sad by it. Like, you wouldn't have that without the time,
the benefit
from
of
it,
time,
and the removal of NDAs and stuff like that, and when the checks have cleared.
Right.
Was it worth it?
No. It wasn't.
Well, just kidding. No, because it was the third one. Like if it had been the first one and it was bad, and then like two excellent ones had been made after, I would have been like, yeah, it was worth it because we got like two really good ones. But the two good ones had already been made, so it was like, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
But it sucks that it was also like they didn't make a great trilogy.
Yeah. It was surprising to me that you said that he set out to make a trilogy at the start of this. I just assumed that it was like he made one and they were like, ooh, that was really popular. Can you make another one? And then he was like, okay. And then he made a sequel and they were like, hey, how about one more? Like it seemed like that kind of movie.
Yeah,
like it seemed like that because like even them bringing Whistler back in the second one felt like they were just like, we should just bring back Whistler. Yeah.
Yeah, that
first one didn't matter.
Seemed very like that was a mistake.
Yeah.
We should bring him back.
It was a mistake to kill him off. We better bring him back because they had a really good rapport on the first one.
But let's kill him in the third one.
Yeah.
Again, where you just go,
we've already we what?
Well, I thought it had like as far as the idea goes, very good progression. The first villain, just some vampires. Second one, some pure blood vampires. The third one, like, well, let's get the vampire of all vampires. Let's get Dracula. Like, I thought that was
Drake.
Oh, right. Sorry, Drake. Yeah, I thought there was a good like outline for it all, which I thought was fun. But yeah, like it was a wet fart of a movie, a vampire.
It's a good way to explain it.
Yeah.
A blood fart.
A blood bubble fart.
Oh, you better get that checked out.
Yeah. Do they fart?
Stephanie Meyer would know. I feel like she's investigated this quite thoroughly. That feels like something she would know.
I mean, they're always on a cleanse, right? Because it's always liquid. They can't eat anything.
Right.
Their skin sparkles like marble and their farts smell like lavender.
I bet their farts
no essential oils.
No, it's just like a little poof of glitter. It's just smells like lavender.
Yeah, it's just
You know.
just sitting there. God damn it!
Edward.
Yeah, lavender. Yeah.
I gotta clean that.
What about you? Oh, citrus. Yeah, just essential oils.
This movie was stupid. Definitely not worth it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like everyone just had like a shit time. Just an absolute shit time on the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, not worth it.
Everyone was just trying to like, they're just like, just trying to get through it.
Publicist, just smile.
Yeah. She's like, okay, okay, everyone, we're gonna have a newspaper come on the set today. She's just like, can't keep it together. Just like, hey, so everyone can just hold on. I need a minute. Like, just trying to keep her shit together.
And then Wesley just pokes us out. You need a joint?
She's like, yeah, I do actually. Thank you.
Okay, this is all because of you.
Craft's here.
Yeah.
Craft's here yet?
This is all because of you. Yeah.
No, it just there are things, as Patton Oswalt says, he's like,
here's what I'll say about Blade Trinity. If you watch, and by the way, I'm friends with the writer director, and he agrees with me on this. If you just sit and watch Blade Trinity, it's a D-. It just doesn't work. But if you know what they went through to get that movie made, it is an A+. The fact that that movie exists puts it above Citizen Kane.
I don't agree, because there are a lot of problems with the movie that aren't Wesley Snipes' fault.
1,000%.
Between Ryan Reynolds just constant mugging and
taking over the whole movie and chewing the scenery.
Yeah. But then also like the plot is such a fucking mess. And then Dracula being such a weenie.
Dracula
and
sucks.
Kind of so pointless.
Man, he sucks.
And then like there's some sequences where we're just like, oh my God, this is some like 90s ass editing.
Yeah.
And moments that just don't land in any regard. The last thing I will say is that I think, despite all the things that were going on, the film is remarkably well edited to hide the fact
that
Snipes
Wesley
is not always there.
Yeah.
Like,
I
think that if they of the digital face replacements, I did not notice a lot.
Oh, I didn't either. Like, yeah.
And
Fondant was great.
Yeah, and because when I was watching the first one, because you can tell it's mostly him, and then the second one, it's him. Like Del Toro keeps him in frame, and it's always him. And so I was like, oh, okay, I knew the third one was coming. It's gonna be really bad, but I didn't really notice it that much.
Yeah.
Like you can tell he's not in the movie very much,
Right.
But how they were able to edit around him is kind of like the editor did their job.
Yeah. There's an overwhelming lack of Blade, just like
in general.
in general throughout the movie. Like it doesn't feel really like a Blade movie at all.
He doesn't push the plot at all.
No.
Like,
yeah.
Why is it called Blade Trinity?
Because it was the third one. I don't know.
I actually have an answer to this.
Is it?
He's like, it's the third one. So it's like the Trinity of the movies. Plus there's the Trinity of those characters, the three of them, with Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel and Blade. And then he was like, that's what I wanted to call it. And then, but then I was thinking The Matrix and Trinity. He's like, but then the sequel sucked. So then I felt like I had the right to put it in this movie. And it was like, oh, your movie sucked too.
Yeah.
All right. Follow-ups.
Follow-ups.
A lot of people reached out to us after Triple Frontier because we all said the movie wasn't worth it.
Right.
A lot of people reached out and was like, that movie was worth it just for the dogs that were rescued.
Adopted.
And I was like, oh, fuck. Yep.
Yeah.
That is a fair point.
Yeah. I think Ziggy in our Discord said the same thing.
Yeah.
It was like, yep, 100%. We'll go with that.
Someone in
Sounds
Discord, someone in Instagram wrote us as well. And I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, you were 100% right. That is a very good point.
This week on Shit Show Corrections.
Shit Show Corrections Corner.
Well, speaking of corrections, so there was a bunch of people that pointed out how there are examples of real life brothers not playing siblings in movies.
Okay.
Yeah, people got real hung up on this one.
Yeah, they
funny.
really did. Like one person was straight up mad about it. It was like, you
Bro,
don't have the
calm down.
benefit. You're not there. You're not in that exact moment. Like you can't think of it. Of course, you can't think in hindsight.
Yeah, like, cut us some slack.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
We're 3 people in a basement.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just 3 people in a
Trying
basement.
to start a church.
Ray,
Yeah.
smile.
Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson in Royal Tenenbaums.
Yep.
Because Luke Wilson just plays the neighbor next door. Dave Franco and James Franco in Disaster Artist.
Yep.
Was like, that was
Good
a pretty
one.
obvious one.
Yep.
Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen in 3 different movies.
Oh, they got us there.
Yeah.
I don't think they know their brothers.
They're brothers?
He does a different type of raves, tiger blood raves.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the obvious, this one, this one's not so obvious, but it was exactly what we were talking about. Ben and Casey Affleck in Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
But a bunch of people pointed that out, and it was kind of like, yeah, but I don't remember Casey Affleck. Like, I remember Matt Damon and Robin Williams and Mimi Driver and Stellan Skarsgård. Like, Casey Affleck's in that movie? All right, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I pointed out the Batemans, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you did. There you go.
I'm exempt
TV
from
show.
this. I'm exempt from this correction is what I'm saying. I am right and perfect and never do anything wrong, so.
I straight up just couldn't think of anything.
Yep, same here.
I was too busy getting high in my Winnebago.
Yeah, Clint's face is being digitally replaced right now.
My eyes are not open right now.
He is fully asleep. This is an AI voice.
You've had your eyes closed the whole time.
The whole
See if
time.
you could do it.
Yeah.
I'm weekend at Bernieing him right now. I'm just like doing all his arm movements.
Puppetry.
Yeah. All right. And then Clay Crawford 7 said, such a scam that they only started filming after all the episodes where Clint had shown off his special underwear.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry, you don't get to see it.
Is he talking about my
let's show us your blade.
Yeah.
Your blade tidy whities.
Yeah.
That katana.
That's right.
You got 3 of them.
I got 3. They're sharp.
This next one from Spotify, Clint, you have to read this one.
Oh, okay. This is from Marito Burrito. Okay. This is my first time commenting after years of listening to your podcast. I'm shameless to say I just want to hear my username from your beautiful voice someday. Clint specifically. Oh, okay. I'll do it again. But thank you so much for these many hours of informative yet hilarious entertainment that has lightened my workload every day. Every episode always gives me the stupidest smile. Well, you are welcome, Marito Burrito.
They're going to make that their ringtone.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, let's just isolate it.
wait, hold on. I got it for you.
Wait.
You have reached the cell phone of Marito Burrito. He is not here right now. Please leave a message.
All right.
That's your voicemail, Marito Burrito.
So I just got my newsletter, my Variety magazine newsletter. I don't know. And we have some meddling executives that we need to tell flattering lies about. So
There's a bunch of new ones.
There's a bunch of new meddling
Y'all
executives.
really showed up after that live stream.
I know.
So thank you for that.
Everyone wanted to hear all the spicy secrets behind how the show was made.
Yep.
So
And I had my dad, who's a lawyer, look into it. And he's like, we good.
you really
Yeah?
I talked to him for like an hour. I had him watch it.
because somebody in Discord was like, y'all should probably like have a legal disclaimer on this in case like they try to sue you for defamation. And we were like, oh, fuck. And so Ian's dad's a lawyer and he looked at it and was like, you're fine.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. We'll talk to him about setting up our church.
Talk to your dad about our tax exempt status.
Yeah. We're going to
It's
Wesley Snipe this.
We're going to snipe the shit out of these taxes.
No.
Yeah.
Legally.
Legally.
We're going to find those legal loopholes.
Yeah, not all those. Yeah, not all those illegal loopholes.
We can't just say no. We got to say no because. Yeah.
No, and we're a church.
All right. Well, our first new meddling executive is Farida. And they are this underground big band leader that you've never heard of but should have. You know, like Glenn Miller or Count Basie. You know, like all these old-timey like band leaders.
I have totally heard of all of those people.
Yes.
Yeah, but I do have T-shirts of all of these people that I wear frequently.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, but they are the
Not garbage.
Not
garbage. We don't, yeah. But you know, they're the premier big band leader of like the underground scene. Like,
Are they there? Are they actually playing, or are they just pulling the strings from
They're pulling the
behind?
strings from like behind the scene. They don't want me telling this.
Oh,
So, like,
okay.
they're
This is all very hush hush.
that we're publicly saying.
Yeah, but you have to use those like vision goggles from Blade 2 just
Yes.
to see where the clubs are.
Yeah.
Which all the vampires, you want to know where the clubs are? You gotta wear these fucking
Yep.
night vision goggles.
Exactly.
Right. So you find the club. It's literally underground. Like you
Yes.
don't just mean metaphorically. You mean actually physically
Physically
underground.
Yeah.
Go
Behind
under
a
there.
meat locker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through a fridge.
Yep.
Gotta
But
walk
it's-
through a fridge.
But it's not like, electronic dance club EDM sort of stuff. It's like big band swing stuff.
So it's like like people like
Yeah.
trumpets, but still blood rain is happening.
Yeah, blood's coming down.
Exactly. Yeah, and then people are like swing dancing.
Yeah.
So it's like
Very hard to it's very hard to swing dance with the blood on
With
the,
the
on
yeah.
the ground.
Yes.
you just slip and
But they
fall
lean
all
into
the
it.
time.
They lean
They
into
lean
it.
it. Yeah, they make it work.
And they're all about consent. Do you want to be a vampire?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, all right. I
not
don't
right
want to
now.
approach on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, not today. Maybe I'll come. Maybe later. I'll.
I
think
want to
about
check
it.
this out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'll come back next week.
Yeah, maybe I'll get my affairs in order and then,
Yeah.
and then
Get my affairs in order.
yeah, that'll come back. Yeah.
Can you wait until I'm 35? No.
No, you don't want to. Like,
You don't want to. You don't want to become a vampire after 35. It is not fun.
like those joints will start creaking no matter what. Vampirism is not a cure.
You
for
want to
that.
stay young and hot. Young, hot vampires. We don't need no like 40 plus vampires up in this,
Yeah.
okay?
Will it cure my osteoporosis?
No.
So yeah, thanks for those big band buckaroos.
Yeah.
Big band bucks.
Yep.
Burrito. All right. The next meddling executive is Joel M. Joel M. is a publicist.
They have given us some advice on
Our church.
our church,
On our church.
and what sort of like literature that we should have published. Like our own Bible, if you will. Yeah, maybe don't put this in it. That might turn some people off. But go ahead and put this in there. That will really attract people. They clearly did say like, don't talk about improv.
Ever.
That will
As a
turn
matter of fact.
everybody off.
This is why the church is not thriving. This is what I keep telling you.
yeah.
This is what Joel and I keep telling you.
And I'm hearing you now.
But I love the idea that we're okay with changing our doctrine to fit marketability.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why do you think the Mormon Church is still relevant?
This is what all churches do to stay tax exempt.
Yeah.
It is part of it. And Joel, as a matter of fact, is just standing right there behind the camera, just
Yeah.
going like this.
Smile. Yeah.
Or so-
Don't forget to smile.
Stop doing this. Stop doing this.
Stop raising your arms up.
You're not 35 anymore.
Thanks, Joel.
Thank you, Joel.
Joel, couldn't do this religion without you. Couldn't start this church without you, bro.
But this better pay off.
Yeah, or you're fucking fired.
No one ever said starting a fake religion based on a podcast to get tax exempt status was easy, okay? No one ever promised that to you, Joel.
You got to deal with the fucking Holy Trinity over here.
And our egos are really big.
We are a handful.
We are sniping it up down here, okay? This is
We should
Snipe
record.
City.
We should record late at night more often.
Yeah. This is
This is us losing it.
this is us losing it. All right.
Our next meddling executive is Alan W., who is a clone
Oh my God.
of Alan from Cinema Therapy.
Little Alan?
He loves us.
Little Alan.
Little Al?
He loves us so much
Yeah.
that he cloned himself to give us more money.
Yeah.
Oh my
that's
God.
so nice.
Raking in that clone cash.
Clone cash.
I'm not gonna stop, by the way.
Clone quid.
Yo, yes.
So, but he created Alan, the clone of Alan, to take all the taxes. So that he has to eat up the taxes, so Alan doesn't have
Oh
to.
yeah.
see.
Little Al.
Lil Al.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, it's cutting edge, and I mean, it doesn't look anything like him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just named. Maybe it's just a guy named Alan.
Yeah.
This is another Alan W. See, now this is a metal executive who I'm thinking is probably gonna be like, oh, I'm just a clone of somebody else. I didn't get anything unique. I'm just somebody else. So you're welcome, Alan W.
No, you're part of the clone revolution.
That's
right. The Clone Wars.
Oh.
Did he start that?
Yeah.
Because he was so mad about taking all of Big Alan's shit.
Yeah.
He's just like, he's opening credit cards in my name. He's fucking ruining my credit score.
Yeah.
You know what? Clones are coming for us, guys.
Clones are people too, okay?
Yeah.
Are they? I don't know. I don't know the science.
I don't
These
know
are
the
the kinds of
ethical repercussions of that. Yeah.
We're not vampire scientists. We're not clone scientists. I don't know.
We're three people in a basement.
We're just three people in a basement. I don't know how this works.
Clones have souls. Vampires do not. I'll say that right there now.
Oh,
all right.
Hot take.
# clone rights. # clones are people too.
Wait, but I feel like that's a derogatory term. Clones are people too. What's the two mean? I'm the second version?
Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Clones are sorry, I got it wrong. It's clones are two people. That's what I meant to say. # clones are two people.
This is the kind of thing that Joel would be like, no, I think that's a misprint. No, I think that's what we want to say.
No. Joel, do your fucking job and just cover for every bullshit thing that I say, okay? You're our publicist, man.
You got to be thinking ahead, Joel. You got to anticipate our nonsense.
It's like instead of anticipating our needs, anticipate our nonsense and cover for it. Thank you. It's all we ask. It's not that hard.
Oh, man.
Alan, all right. Thanks for the clone.
Lil Al.
Lil Al.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Lil Al.
For those clone quid.
All right.
Okay, then. Oh, yeah.
Our next one is Monica L. And Monica L is really an up-and-comer in the pastry world.
Oh.
Yeah. She's got her own shop, gluten-free for some of the options, like gluten-free for some. Okay. You know, she makes two of everything. You want a macaron?
With gluten and without
and without gluten.
Okay,
yeah.
that's
like,
fine.
Catering to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and she caters to clones, you know, whatever they want. But
like she sometimes makes a much smaller version of macaron.
Yeah.
For the
look, this little eclair had a baby.
Yeah. No, that's essentially what every
that's just a piece of chocolate just laying on the ground.
Isn't that essentially like what sourdough is? It's just like a clone.
Yeah.
Because it's like a sourdough starter.
It's like bread that had a baby.
Yeah, it's bread babies.
Bread babies.
She's giving us that bread.
Bread.
I have no idea. I have no idea how that works. And so I don't know if what you just said is remotely true.
Yeah, like sourdough starter, like you can. Is
it all same? It's the same entity.
There's the mother dough.
The mother. This is also how like kombucha works. You have the mother, and then like it goes. I don't know.
It farts glitter.
Yeah, and then you get kombucha.
Look, it was all explained very clearly in Twilight. I don't understand why you're confused about how this works.
Look, not only are we going to start our church, but we're going to start a kombucha company called Glitter Farts.
I can't.
I would not be surprised if that was an actual product, like how like products are like called like Liquid Death nowadays.
I fucking love Liquid Death.
But it's just like glitter farts sold exclusively at these Monica's bakeries.
Yes. Joel, keep us on track, man.
God damn it, Joel. You had one job.
Also, where are our eclairs, Joel?
Yeah. Monica, thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Your bread is delicious.
Thank you.
Your bread is
eclairs,
delicious.
Bit frightening.
Questionable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And glitter farts. We love it. All right. And our last patron is Ethan K.
He actually owns a golden goose.
Oh.
What?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
And how do we make that tax exempt? Tell me. Joel?
Gold's tax exempt, right? He's just owning it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
it's
Like,
just- yeah.
what?
He's
You have
just
to
own it.
report. You don't have to report that to the government. Like,
Yeah.
how are you going to quantify a golden egg? You're just like, just bury that shit in your backyard. Ron Swanson, that shit.
Yeah.
That's not exactly what I was thinking of.
You have to pay taxes on that.
I mean, as
Ethan-
long as we're on the gold standard throughout the world,
Yeah.
like you're good.
Yeah. And Ethan's been taking that golden goose everywhere and just like letting old honkers, and he's just like laying eggs in everybody's yards, and so you got to go look for it.
Oh, every day is Easter with Ethan.
Ooh, fun Easter, though.
Yeah.
A grown-up Easter.
Yeah. Oh man, you can find some chocolate and shit. No, I'm finding some fucking gold.
Golden eggs.
Just walking around, they're just shooting up.
He's like a paper boy. He's like driving. He's just shooting it through your window.
just squeeze
What
it.
the fuck?
Oh, my window. Oh, well, all right. It's fine.
That'll pay for the damages.
Right? And then his story gets told like Johnny Appleseed, like a tall tale. And then some old man has like got a bunch of like young kids rolling. He's like, let me tell you the story about Ethan K. He's will travel around with his golden goose and
Ethan K. and the golden goose named Honkers.
in his Honda Civic.
Yep. And if you're a good little boy and girl, he'll come to your house and he'll honk a golden egg right in your face.
You would think that he would be able to afford a better car than a Honda
No, because
Civic.
he's not keeping any of it.
Oh,
he's giving
he's
it
like
to everybody
Robin
else.
Hood.
He's humble. He's down to earth.
He's
just giving out golden eggs to
He is.
everybody.
Yeah, he just
To
makes
all
sure
the
the
good
car
little
still
girls and
works.
boys.
The AC doesn't, but he's
Yeah.
he's making it work. He doesn't need the money.
But he's like, you know what? It's better for the environment anyway, man.
Does Monica use these eggs to make stuff?
Yeah, that's how we get glitter farts.
That's how we get. That's the
gold glitter farts.
golden glitter. Yeah,
What is
exactly.
that? Wait, so is a golden egg? Is it entirely gold, or is it just the shell?
Could you make a golden omelet? Like, could you use the
Yeah,
eggs to
exactly.
make
Probably
golden
could, yeah.
pastries?
Just get one of those welder's tools just to open it up and then
Yeah.
And
There
make
you
some
go.
delicious. That's what's inside the eclairs.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
So Monica knows how to use the golden eggs for pastries.
So we know they're not vegan.
correct, but they
Okay.
are gluten free.
They are gluten free.
This is the fantasy world we've created.
Yeah. Oh my God. They're all probably just thinking, man, they are fucking high right now.
We did get hot earlier. Y'all saw it.
Yeah, it's true.
We have
Yeah.
great ideas.
Joel, give us some more weed. Thanks, Joel. Appreciate
Oh,
you.
Joel's giving us.
But
the,
then
the
tell
2-minute
everybody
warning.
that we're.
He's
Yeah,
just like,
Joel's like.
And this concludes our sermon.
was it worth it?
Thank you all so much for being with us on this fine Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
May atheist Dracula be with you.
And praise,
also unto you.
Praise Barth and Ho. And
In the name of Drake, amen.
And then, in the name of Hot Topic Dracula, amen.
thank you so much for listening. It Was a Shit Show is researched and produced by me, Ian Jench. Sound editing and mix by Ray Reynolds. Our theme music is by Ryan K. Hudson. If you're enjoying the show, leave us a review on your preferred podcast player. It does help spread the word. Or you can support us on Patreon and get access to exclusive content and longer versions of the podcast. Find us on social media at It Was a Shit Show, but shit without the I. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel.